Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, I am the Introverted Reader, and I'm super excited about today's video because today's video is going to be the Eddie Munson book tag. I'm super excited about this. I have my Hellfire Club t-shirt on. I'm so ready to do this. I meant to do this video a lot sooner, but you know, life, as it always does, just gets in the way. And I'm being really careful so as to not knock over this tripod because I knocked it over and it's already broken, so let's just be very careful. But I have the questions written down here. This tag was originally created by the book Sanctum, so I shall be leaving that original video link down below. So let's hydrate and get started. I'm sorry about the lighting in here, by the way. It is really gloomy today, and like obviously I have my lamp on, but like the natural light is just not here in this room. I know it might not look it in the camera, but like in real life it's really like ugh in here, so I apologize for the lighting. But anyway, let's get on with the tag. So the first question: Chrissy, Wake Up, a book you were so obsessed with, your first thought of the day was about it. Now, going back in time, way back when, till 2013, when Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare came out, I remember receiving that book, tearing it out of its packaging, and immediately starting to read it, and I had it finished within a day. And that has never happened to me before. I could not put that book down for the life of me. Like, I carried it, like, I just was obsessed, and whenever I finished it at 2 a.m, like, I sat in my bed and just cried, and then I woke up in the morning just like, oh, I looked up and saw it sitting on my shelf, and just the emotions. Like, but a little bit more recently, The Prison Healer, right here, by Lynette Noni. Like, oh, love that book. I'm so glad I picked it up. Like, every time I look at it, I remember that I picked it up on a whim, and just, again, I had it read so quick. Like, I didn't want to finish it, but at the same time I wanted to carry on, you know. It was those types of books, you know what I mean? So definitely those two. D&D, recommend a fantasy book. Ooh, well, I've read a lot of fantasy books in my time. I would say Strange the Dreamer by Lani Taylor. That's a damn good fantasy book. That's like older YA. Adult would be Captive Prince, which is up there. Be over the age of 18. I'm saying adult, bold and underlined. Young adult fantasy, I would probably say Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, and anything that Rick Riordan has ever written, because his is more middle grade. Well, middle grade borderlining on young adult, because his characters start off quite young, and then obviously as the series goes on, they grow up. Who's so excited about the new Percy Jackson and the Olympians book coming out next September? I'm fully gagged. Anyway, but yeah, those would be my recommendations. I might actually make a video sometime where I recommend you guys fantasy books. I know I've made videos in the past of like these books you need to read, but like strictly fantasy ones, so I might do that in the future. Excuse me. Question 3. This is going to be my year. A book you think is going to be your favorite this year. Right now, I am currently reading The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice, and I am loving it. I'm loving that book. Like, I was a little bit worried because the last vampire classic that I read, which was Dracula, I did not like, but I gave Lestat a chance, and I've read Interview with a Vampire years ago, and I didn't overly like that. I mean, it was okay, but then now, Lestat is king. Lestat is just king. We love him. Mwah. Chef's kiss. If I don't give that 5 stars, then I'm gonna be highly disappointed. But like, I fully feel that book is gonna be a 5-star read, absolutely. The next question, bats. Why bats? Why? A spooky book. So recommend a spooky book. Well, I just talked about Lestat. What other? I don't really read a whole lot of spooky books, if I'm being honest. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That whole entire trilogy by Holly Jackson. It's not fantasy or anything, but like it's sort of like a young adult thriller type thing. And listen, I was pretty spooked while I was reading that, because obviously it's not fantastical, like it's just set in real life, but like, oh, like honestly, some like edge of my seat stuff. And don't be judging me, okay? I'm new to the thriller genre, all right? But Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that whole trilogy, spooky, spooky stuff. Master of Puppets, a book with a truly epic scene in it. Let me think. I don't know if this counts as epic, but the scene in Love, Simon, or Simon Versus, who is up there, where he's waiting for Blue at the fairground. You know, he messaged Blue to come and meet him, and then like everybody's just waiting, and he's just there on the Ferris wheel. I think that's pretty epic when the two of them finally do meet face to face. I think that's pretty cute. I mean, it's pretty epic in my opinion, because it's really sweet and lovely, and it's the penultimate, like, is Blue actually gonna reveal himself? You know, like, I think yeah. And like, would it be my channel if we did a little gay, if we didn't get a little bit gay up in here? I don't think so. But yeah, that, absolutely. I don't know if that counts as epic, but it's epic in my mind, because we wait so long to find out who Blue is, and it's just like, this is the moment, you know? Question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Question 6. Dustin. A book where a character takes on a protective sibling role over another character. I'm going to talk about The Prison Healer again by Lynette Noni, because our main character looks after this young boy who is also in the prison. The young boy wasn't originally arrested, it was his mom, but his mom sadly died in the prison, and then our main character kind of took him on and looks after him and keeps him safe. So definitely that. And the very last question, Eddie, the man himself. A book you think everyone should love. Well, there's quite a lot of books I think everyone should love, but one in particular that just completely stole my heart is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I could say House in the Cerulean Sea as well, but that book didn't mean as much to me as this one does. Like, I don't even feel it's enough me just simply saying that I love this book. But I love it so much I have 2 different editions. Like, this is just the normal hardback, and this is the Illumicrate edition with the sprayed edge. And I mean, obviously I've shown this off before, but I'm just going to show you it again. And it's signed by TJ. So, like, and me and Amy, over Book 2 with Amy, Buddy read this, and oh my goodness. Like, I was like messaging her as I was reading it, and the closer I got to the end of this book, I wasn't even sending her proper words. I was just sending her like crying face emojis, because a river of tears. And like, oh my goodness. So basically this book is about this man called Wallace, and Wallace unexpectedly dies, and he ends up he pops up at his own funeral, and he sees his work colleagues, he sees his ex-wife, and he thinks, oh, they'll have nothing but nice things to say about me surely. But they all basically spend his whole funeral being like, well, I'm glad he's gone. I mean, he was a bit of an asshole, like he wasn't even a nice person, and his wife calls him a terrible husband and all this, and he just can't fathom it. He's just like, what? And then this Reaper comes to get him, and she takes him to this little tea shop, which is run by this man called Hugh. And the tea shop is kind of like a gateway between our world and the next, like the afterlife. And basically Hugh is like, he explains to Wallace that your spirit is still lingering here because you have a lot of things that's holding you from moving on. and you need to come to terms with that, and you need to be able to, you know, acknowledge it and then let it go and move on. And that's kind of like Hugo's job. He like guides them, you know, spirits to the other side. And at first Wallace doesn't want to even believe he's dead. He thinks that this is all an elaborate prank. But then like the way this book tackles like death and grief and mourning, and like, you know, the very idea that like if you were to like die tomorrow, you know, if like, as Nickelback would say, if today was your last day, like, would you be able to look back and be all like, yeah, I treated everyone around me with respect. I was a good person. I loved my partner. If you had a partner, husband, wife, whatever it was, you know, I love them. I treated them with respect. You know, I was a good partner. Or if you had children, would you be able to honestly say you were a good parent? Would you be able to look back on your life and acknowledge, yeah, I did well, you know? And that's sort of what Wallace has to tackle. He has to tackle with like, I maybe not have been the best person, but I feel, you know, like he wasn't he wasn't a very good person in his life. And he needs to be able to acknowledge that in order to let go and move on. And, you know, and again, the way it talks about, and he, you know, talks about how he dealt with a lot of loss in his life, you know, his mother dying and everything else. I'll not say much more, but like, and at the time, you know, me and Amy felt like this really hit home for both of us, because both of us were dealing with loss at the time. And this book talks a lot about, like I said, about grief and mourning and what that does to you, how it affects you, you know, mentally and emotionally. And, you know, like, it's just, it's so beautifully written. It's such a great book. And like, I love this book so much. It's so near and dear to my heart. Like, I highlighted so much in here. I mean, not in this like copy, but like, oh my goodness, I love this. I love this. I love this. And everybody needs to love it too. If you haven't read this book yet, read it. Like, read it. Like, TJ Klune stands in this house, and we're also Eddie Munson stands in this house. So yeah, that was the Eddie Munson book tag. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I'll just show you real quick. I got my Eddie Munson pop. He finally arrived. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? He is my prized possession now. Like, he is proudly being displayed on that shelf. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. All my socials will be down below as always, along with the original video by the Book Sanctum. I'll obviously leave that video link down below because it's only right to credit people. Anyway. And I've talked about Amy a good lot in this video as well. I'll link her down below too. And if you're not subscribed to her, you should be. Anyway, socials down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell so as you know whenever I upload. My next video is going to be on Tuesday, and we're going to be wrapping up the month of October, which was a pretty decent enough reading month. But anyway, I'll talk to you more about it on Tuesday. Hope you are having a good day. Stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.